prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Mr. Cadell.
Thank you. Please join us in a moment of prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for this beautiful February weather. Please be with us and guide us as we help move the county forward. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, next order of business is the roll call, please.
Wrinkle. Caudell.
Here.
Hicks.
Here.
Kitts.
Here.
Lemmy.
Here.
McWhirter.
Here.
Scott.
Here. All right, super. Next item on the agenda is the auditor's report.
If you have any questions, just let me know.
All right. Next item on the agenda is approval of the minutes from January 21st, 2026.
I pointed out a couple of items that need to be corrected to Stacy earlier today. I think I'm looking at my list. Looks like I see the one on item 6. Oh, no, not item 6. It was Judge McVicker had been omitted. His presentation had been omitted from the original, but she's put that as item B now, so that's in there. And there was also a vote back on section H. It said 5-1 with one abstention, really 5-0 with one abstention. So she made those corrections, I think. Looks like.
Yes.
On that basis, I'll move for approval.
All right, thank you. We have a motion to approve by Mr. McWhirter. Do we have a second?
second.
All right, thank you, Mr. Cadell. Any other comments, additions, or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. Now we're up to our first new business, Grant County Highway Department. Mr. David White.
Good evening.
Good.
The first letter I sent was the one for additional funding. I don't know if you want to start with that one first or.
Sure.
This is a request for additional funding for 1173, the restricted funding. And I kind of do this every year. I try to get my projects all ready, shovel ready, so I can start when the weather breaks. And so I've asked for additional $700,000 in bituminous, which is for our chip seal program. $1 million in paving projects, $664,500 for equipment, and that was for 2 or 4 dump trucks we had purchased last year. So we'd like to get those paid for this year when they are built, and then additional.
You expect this to be done this year? You'll pay for it this year? You think?
Yes. All 4 of them will be completed by I'm hoping November at the latest.
So it could be end of the year. Okay.
Yeah. And then additional $100,000 for stone and gravel for our chip seal program.
This is correct.
You want to go ahead and go on with the bridge, or you want?
Sure, we can do that.
The accumulated bridge additional, basically these 3 projects here were started on last year, and then the bridge 102 and the bridge 138 were community crossing awarded projects, and we just bid them out yesterday. So we've got to make our match for the community crossing grant on those 2 projects. And then bridge 791 is the one that we've started on design work here in Marion on 14th Street. So we're just working on getting that ready for the next round of community crossings. So
What's the total percentage, the community crossing grant?
it's a 50-50 match for the size of our county. So, and the 2 bridges came in at $1.3 million something. So we've got to have a matching for that, and then we got to pay for the inspection 100%. So.
Can I ask what you do to get them ready for that next part?
for the,
Before you actually get the approval.
all the design work, all the right of way, all the permits for
That
working. Right. And that, they will not match any of that. The state won't. We have to pay for that all of ourselves.
So they're basically paying the hard cost, not the soft cost, so to speak.
Right, yeah. They're paying for basically just the construction process.
Half of it.
And then, I'm sorry, additional, $534,500 for equipment. What I was gonna do is for the restricted, since we use our trucks both in the, snow plowing operation and also for the, highway maintenance, I'm splitting the cost of both of them. So then we take, because I can't use all the money out of, restricted for snow removal. So I'm splitting the cost of all the trucks to make sure that we're doing what we're supposed to with the state on the money for equipment funding.
So the cost of those trucks is roughly the combination of the 664.5 and the 534,
Right.
those two combined.
Yeah, I think
About
if
$1.2 million.
it was about $1.2 million for everything.
I was gonna ask you, David, as you mentioned this, I don't recall from the fall or whenever those are ordered. Did we, about the ordering before we're getting to this stage as far as appropriation?
Yeah.
We probably should have known before you asked for an appropriation to do that, right?
Yeah.
I was watching.
Yeah. Well, and I think we had funding available, but they weren't built till this year kind of thing, so.
But this is new to us as far as that. We weren't
Yeah.
told back in the fall, hey, look for an appropriation.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe what we'll do is go ahead and vote on those items, because those are additional appropriations. And then we'll save the last one.
And just to let you know that, Angie was kind enough to do the 4B form for me, and, the NVH combined had 3,222,000 in it, so I think I left, that's about 3 million.
299, 2.99.
I was gonna say,
Yeah, man.
I was gonna say it's right at 3 million, so I didn't spend it all kind of thing, so.
I wanted to ask you about that. You're close. I mean, 300,000, or actually less than 300,000, 223,000 from that total.
Yep.
So you feel okay with that? I mean, you're
Yeah.
comfortable with that? The other piece is the breakdown. I know that the state does this on a total basis, but you're still required to make sure to spend it out of restricted, it qualifies for restricted.
Right.
And my point, I guess, is you look at the NVH versus NVH restricted, you got 2.7 million surplus in NVH, only 476,000 surplus in restricted.
Right.
So I mean, you're gonna be transferring a lot of money to restricted, and you're okay with that and you understand that, okay?
Last year, we almost had to, but, I think in the month of December, we came in with like 200,000, so I don't like to transfer it over because I can't transfer it back.
Yeah, that's why I was a little surprised that, I guess one thought I had was, should we do the additional now because you don't have it there now, actually?
Yeah.
And
It makes, the restricted averages about 200,000 a month. So I figure for the next 10 months or so, we're probably gonna get about 1.2 million. And so,
And your 2.4 is your ask tonight, 2.2,464,500 is what you're asking for restricted tonight.
Yeah.
And when I saw it, I think, that's pushing it, that may be,
but I know I got the 2+ million extra in the,
and you just know you have to move it to restricted at some point.
Right.
So,
but like I said, I don't want to unless I have to because I can't move it back, so.
it's one of those unique things. I mean, in total for the fund, he's got enough, but it's in the wrong spot, so to speak, right now, so. Okay. As long as you know that, that's the key, I guess, as far as, we want to make sure that happens before the year's done, so it complies, or you're gonna get written up by the Board of Accounts.
Yeah. I always work with Angie to make sure, like usually October, November, I'm checking real close to make sure that it don't go in the negative, so.
Right. So I guess if we give you the appropriation tonight, we're expecting you to act on that, make sure it's right before it's done.
I will.
The chair would entertain a motion regarding those 3 additional appropriations.
Mr. President, so moved.
All right, thank you, Mr. Scott.
Second.
All right, thank you, Mr. Lemon. A motion and a second. Any other questions or comments from the council? Any questions or comments from the public? Hearing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next item is replacement of vacancy.
Yes, I've been notified that I will have an employee that's gonna be, moving to a different position, different job here in the next couple of weeks. So I just wanna make sure it's all right, I fill that position. When it does come available, might have some people move within, but I'm not gonna change a budget or anything like that. I just wanna make sure it's all right to get that approved, so.
All right. Entertain a motion regarding that.
I would move that we permit him to replace the vacancy, even if it includes the dominoes of internally making that happen.
All right. Thank you, Mr. McCourt. We have a second.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Hicks. Any questions or comments from the council? Anything from the public? Hearing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you.
So the next thing I was gonna bring up is this new software program called Biolytics. We've showed this to the commissioners, they're all in favor of it. But like Mr. McWhorter said, I wanna make sure that you gentlemen are all right with it, and it's something that I would like to budget, if we do accept it. Just to let you know how it works is basically to apply for a community crossing grant, we have to have two different things every year. We have to have an update on our PASER rating, which that's what our road conditions are rated at. And currently right now, we just kind of go out and you drive a mile and I drive a mile, and we just kind of get this kind of generic form of what we think it is. This new Biolytics basically puts cameras on our trucks, and it takes pictures every 10 feet all across the county, and keeps data such as our guardrail, our signs and everything. So it's kind of more than just one function. And so basically then it kind of scores the road on the documents that they get as they drive along. So it's kind of more consensus, same rating. If you got a road that rates a 5, it rates from 1 to 10. 10 being a real good road that's maybe been just paved or something like that. So doing this, like I said, it kind of helps us on making sure we have our asset management plan for community crossing grant. Also with the community crossing grant, we have to hand in all of our bridge inventory, our bridge ratings, which we have a bridge company that does that for us every 2 years on most bridges. So that data, we just send that to them. But this here is basically something new. If you see what I put on the paper, that the first 3 years is basically $46,988.60 per year for 3 years. And so I did find out, Mr. McWhorter, that after that, you still have to pay about the same amount. They said it looks like most of them went up maybe 3 to 5%. Just kind of a software update and stuff like that.
And I was looking at the sheet you gave us in our packet too, and there's looks like we're only paying 83% of some number to get our net cost. You know, why is that discounted 83%?
That I don't know.
That's what made me think, well, maybe it's discounted the first 3 years, all of a sudden, boom, we're gonna go back up here or something.
No,
That's not the case.
that's the set price for the first 3 years. I do know that, so.
You might ask me, why is it 83% off there?
Right.
I mean, that's great that it is. But
Yeah, I don't know if that's kind of just a starter program or what, but. So one thing I guess I would say is, I know it's a lot of money, but we're probably averaging over $3 million a year on road projects. So in the long run, I think it's going to save us money. I don't know about saving money as is just making sure that we're doing what's right for the road condition. Instead of doing something and then 2 years later, they say, well, you shouldn't have wasted your money on that 2 years ago. You should have did this year kind of thing. So I think that scoring it is going to help us in the long run. I know there's a lot of counties that are starting to go this route. And I know the city of Marion, they started it, I think, 2 years ago. And I did talk to them. I think they spent about 50-some thousand on their program, like 57,000 for their program each year. And same thing. It just kind of scores a road. So
All the hardware is included in that
yes,
cost?
yeah, that's the cameras, the software, and basically what you do is you go out and drive the roads, and when you come back in, then it downloads on the computer
Is that
software.
every vehicle or just specific?
4 vehicles, or you'll have basically 4 phones that you can attach to whatever vehicle you want to. So
Is there a replacement plan included in that, like every 3 years when this renews to get new hardware or as needed?
as needed, they said the first 3 years that they will, if anything happens to any of the programs, they will replace it free.
It's not the cameras themselves.
That same thing. Yeah.
At this point, it's not required by a community cross by the state. Is that a correct statement?
It is, but right now the way we're doing it is kind of like you drive one road.
But I understand you're saying, but they've accepted that as your method of analyzing and.
Yes, they've accepted.
And they haven't told you they're gonna stop accepting that.
No.
Okay.
Do you have accident cams in your vehicles?
No.
Yeah. Does
We
this
do.
double as that? If it's,
I don't think it does because it's taking pictures of the actual road footage.
That's not a bad thought. Dash cam on.
yeah. And then everybody be like, hey, did you get my mailbox?
Yeah. We have cameras on the back of our trucks for making sure that we don't back up over somebody or something like that. All of our new trucks do, so.
These are the ways that, I guess, in my own mind, that you have AI, which is supposed to be, basically taking away then that trained person that might recognize it and drive it, but yet you're not eliminating any positions, and yet it should make the job easier because AI is doing the job for you. But instead, we're just adding the expense of 50,000 every year.
One thing
I had a little problem with it in my mind. I mean, overall for the budget, it's not a large percentage of the budget, obviously.
Right,
But
yeah,
of course, we just heard about it tonight. First time we've heard about this.
Yeah.
Maybe we saw it in our packet, but just
right.
questions answered tonight.
Yeah, I was speaking for you.
Yeah. Thank you. But I, in my own mind, I'm thinking, should we think about it a month and then come back next month and then act on it, or do you feel comfortable about it now? I guess that's the kind of question in my mind. I don't know. And maybe it's a good thing, and that's why I asked the question: does the state require this now?
Right. Right.
What we're doing is probably not very scientific, obviously.
No.
And if it would help in the decision-making process about what road we're going to fix and resurface and so forth, that might have its benefits there. It takes away makes it more objective as opposed to subjective, maybe.
It definitely would. That way they would have something that they could go back to if, this person's complaining, well, you paved that road, but you didn't pave this one. It's just, well, here you go. Here's the report of why. So
And I think in the long run, if, like you said, if somebody calls in and says, hey, our road hasn't, well, we've got data to back it that says, we went out and we drove it. This is what we was recommended to do, and like I said, if we decided to chip seal road and then 2 years later we run this out there and it says you should have resurfaced it, it's kind of like, well, then 2 years ago, we just wasted.
But we trust your judgment. You wouldn't do that.
Right, yeah, I was going to say.
We're thinking you're as smart as that program is.
Does this track your inventory too, like signage and
Right,
and things?
yeah, guardrail and all that.
So how are signs replaced? Is there a 10-year period, 5-year period, 20-year period, as needed?
As needed on the reflectivity of the signs and stuff, or the condition of the signs. We do have an inventory right now, and we're spending about $3,000 to $4,000 a year on making sure that inventory is kept on a computer system and database, so we can back it up and everything. So we do spend that on that. So that cost would go away if we went with this system. So that would save a little bit of money. But yeah, we check our signs if the reflectivity is not. We have our own sign making machine. So we pretty much do 90% of our signs right there at the shop and make them ourselves.
The cost is pretty much a position.
Right. Yeah.
When you say you go out and you're driving the roads, is this a process that's
It takes
7-8 hours a day, every single day that you're out on the road checking roads.
Yeah, well, I mean, when we do it, usually what we try to do is either do it after we got the season done. We'll send 2 or 3 guys out, and all they do is drive for weeks on end. With this, I think we could probably do the whole county in less than a week, 2 weeks, don't you think, CR? I mean, it's something that, you know, we can send 3 guys, 4 guys out different directions. They can drive one township in one day. The data's all there. All they can do is come back in. Right now, when we come back in, we gotta get out the old pencil and paper and, okay, we rate this a 3.
And it seems like you really, if you just drive it for that purpose once a year, it's gonna change quite a bit in some locations.
Oh, yeah.
So my thought is you'd be doing this throughout the year.
Well, and one thing's nice with this is say we get done with a resurfacing project, we can just turn around the next day and go score it. I mean, it'll just do it right then, and then you can have that data to back it up. So you don't have to go, well, we'll wait till November. We can go ahead and put it in the system right then. So, you know, every time you get done with a project, you can just download it. We can put work orders on it. We can also put all of our pipes projects on there, so we can put the size of the pipe, we can take pictures of it, all that data, and put in this one system. So
Probably wouldn't help you for bridge inspections with it.
no, because you have to
Because
be
you're already-
engineered to do that and
you're already doing
everything.
it.
So
Okay.
I do
and
like
that's-
the proactiveness of it to where you can actually look out and plan ahead. I think that's something we lack a lot of in terms of maintenance and things like that. You know, not specifically you, but countywide as a whole.
You said at the end of the season, when you kind of go through this process of going through this scoring, what's the end of the season? When do you go about doing
usually
this?
like after the end of November, like when we got done with our chip seal and
okay,
paving
so
program. we'll try
Before snow hits you, hope.
Right, yeah. And like I said, I mean, you know, like you said, sometimes we don't make it down some roads once a year.
Yeah, 'cause I mean, from January to November, a lot of things have happened on some
Mhm.
roads. I mean,
Right.
Depends on the situation with it. Yeah. If you do this, I mean, as you're going through the county throughout the year, if you're using it, it would make more sense, it would seem like. If
Right.
you can know 6 months ahead of time, hey, this road's getting worse than it was back in January kind of thing.
And it's kind of like if I see something, I either got to write a note down, then go in, fill out a piece of paper saying this is a work order, or I can just take a picture of it, send it to, you know, we'll send it in and it's already done before I get back to the office kind of thing. So
So does it use your smartphone or does it use hardware back?
they have their own smartware phones that they provide for it. That's why I said they give us 4. And if something happens to them in the 3 years, they'll just replace them with a new one or whatever they need to do. So
So four phones and 4 cameras.
well, the cameras are made in the
camera
phone.
is the phone.
Yeah.
On this third sheet you gave us, there's a quantity 795. Is that how many miles of roads? Is that what this was
Right.
saying? So
Yep.
it's
That's how many lane miles of road we
lane
have.
miles of roads times that price gets you that amount, but it's discounted 83%.
And then we've got the commissioner's attorney looking at the contract to make sure that it's, you know, in line with everything that needs to be. So we're not going to sign it until we get approval from that. So.
Personally, I'd like to know how it gets to the 83% discount. If you can find that out, I'm curious.
Okay.
That's a big difference from what the calculation shows.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Why would they give you a discount at 83%? That means they're overpricing it to begin with by a lot, somehow, it seems like.
I think they'll do that part.
And just let you know, this company is worldwide. It's just not here in the States. They run through a local engineering firm. That's kind of how they get their name out, but it's all over the world kind of thing. So it's not just here in the United States. They do it all over.
You said at the start you thought it would help pay for itself. Is that just in labor savings of charting, or is that in the ability to apply for more grants and do different things on that level?
I feel like that, and then also, like I said, you know, I feel like if you go and do something to a road that you probably shouldn't have done, and then 5 years later you're like, that money or time like we just spent on that road is kind of a waste, you know what I mean, in one way. I mean, if it says to do a resurfacing project and we do a chip seal program, and you know, you figure about $20,000 a mile to do a chip seal program, well, you just wasted $20,000 plus labor
That adds
to
up
do
pretty
it.
quick.
Yeah, so, I mean, really, to be honest with you, in 1 mile's stretch, you almost paid for half of this program if you didn't do what you need to do. And this does everything from like crack sealing. BIM recommends you just go out and fill the cracks in and don't do nothing else. I mean, it's kind of, the only thing that, and luckily we don't have is, they say on gravel roads, it cannot identify the cross sections or basically the dips or whatever. So it really has a hard time with that because a lot of your counties that still have a lot of gravel roads, they gave them some 2 or 4. They're just scoring them real low, and it's just basically says that's a gravel road. It's a 2 kind of thing.
So would it rate a road that's been chip sealed the same way?
No, it can still detect the difference. Yeah. What they tell me, I'm just going by what they tell. And I've talked to some counties that have both, and they said the same thing, that it'll tell the difference. We just talked to a county up in Adams County, which they have a lot of Amish up there. And the only thing that with the horses make ruts on the side, they can't really detect that well, I guess. So they've had to it don't work in that county too much on the roads that have a lot of Amish running them. So.
That was my next question. Have you talked to other counties other than Adams? I mean,
Oh, yeah.
Kind of survey.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we've talked to 5 or 6 different counties that has it, that's used it, that's tried it, kind of thing. So.
You said it's a lot of counties. Do you know how many in Indiana have it now?
No, the last paperwork I had on it, I know they gave another flyer that had like Knox County and some of the other places that had it. I think they told me once they had like 28 counties in the state that had it so far, so.
Again, I can't imagine giving us more crossings money because it's already limited. We usually get our max on community crossings money at this point. I see it more of maybe making better decisions, although I trust your decision-making, so it shouldn't be better decisions, so.
Well, I have a feeling that it's like everything in community crossing, it's changed so much that, one, they're just trying to make sure that you're doing everything right or they're gonna kick your plan out. Kind of thing.
I understand that.
Hey, if you want to take a month to think about it, I'll be glad to come back. Like I said, the commissioners are pretty much on board with it. They feel like it's gonna be a good system for us, and I kind of feel the same thing, that I feel like it's gonna be a benefit for us.
So are you asking for the general fund and additional appropriation?
Oh, no.
Okay.
No, the highway. Probably what I'll probably do this year is just transfer money from the end of the year. I have an account that I don't have used, like salt, because I don't know, I'm lucky if I'm gonna get salt this year kind of thing, so.
David, are you just asking for their overall viewpoint on this, because you haven't submitted a transfer request or
Right, yeah.
appropriation
Yeah,
request?
I was gonna say, right now, the funding, I just want to see if you guys are even interested, because like I said, if you do accept it, then come 2027 budget, I will budget it as a line item, so.
And this year, if we approve it now, you're gonna have to do some transfer or come back to us for some kind of transfer. You're just looking for whether we want you to go ahead and do it at this point.
Right, yeah. I was gonna say, if you guys are like, no, we're not for it, then I'm not even gonna worry about transferring money or doing a budget for 2027, a line item for it. Because what I'd like to do is just so we know every year what it's gonna cost, and I'm not trying to guess.
The technology way is the way everything is going, so. That's your budget. I mean, if you feel you can make that adjustment within your budget.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see a problem with that part of it.
It's less gravel you can buy. I don't know. I got mixed. There's probably some benefit to it. I'm not sure it's worth $50,000 a year, but
Right.
I don't know. I'm like, well, I'd probably wait a month. But
I was the same way when I heard the price. I was like, because the lady called me and said, "What'd you think?" And I said, "Well, after I had a heart attack, I had this come up, you know." And she said, "Well, yeah," but then I got to thinking about it. You know, I thought about the long term. You know, I mean, you know, the first year or two, it's like anything; it's going to take a while to adjust. But I think in the future, you know, when I can hand in a list of roads that are a 5 or a 6 or something.
I like that thought.
I mean,
I can see the state wanting you to do that without your, I'll say your judgment involved. It's more that what is it really like? I can
How
see
does all
that.
that stuff mount on your truck?
right now, the way they said it, they just do it on the window. They do it like a dash cam and take it off that way. So
Probably darn.
It can get signs and the road. It sees signs and the road conditions.
right, and
There's just a picture of that.
And if you see the little yellow dots on this page here, the little yellow dots basically means that's where it took a picture of. And like I said, it does it every 10 feet. They brought in a program for us and showed us on the TV and everything. And if you want to go back in the future and just hit on one spot, you can do that. So like you said, if a year from now somebody says, well, there was a hole there last year, you can go back on there and click on that same spot and see if that hole was there or not. So
Is there competitive software? Is this kind of the only player in that space, or?
pretty much it's the only one I've really ever found.
Personally, I'd like to see us have a chance to think about it, since you just got it tonight and look it over. I'm not saying a yes or no right now, probably no, but maybe it does have its benefits. I'd like to have a chance to look at it a little longer, just to kind of give it some thought. Just,
I think the cost is a realization of how big our county is. We talk about it all the time. I mean, they are basing the cost on the mileage.
it's 83% of it. Why 83% of it?
Well, yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, if we were a much smaller county, obviously it's a much smaller.
'Cause I'd like to know why it's 83% discount.
I just think that they've marked up the unit price. So you take the miles, quantity 795 miles of county road, they just made the unit price higher.
Well, what, make that 83% less and just do it the right way?
Yeah, that's too easy.
Well, I mean, it makes more sense to me. You know, give me a realistic number that you're gonna bill me.
Cloud storage and everything's included in that also?
Right.
All of data space?
Yeah.
And the discount
And
is exactly what they want.
And it's through their,
Makes you feel good.
That makes me feel bad. That makes me feel bad when I see that. Makes me question.
Yeah.
Makes me like, what the heck you guys both doing here? That doesn't make any sense. Give me a break.
I mean, I can see the benefits, but I'm okay waiting a month if we have a month to think about it.
All right.
Whatever that's worth.
What do you guys think?
I'm okay waiting. I do think I think we need to look at this type of stuff countywide personally. I mean, it is expensive, but yeah, I think we need more data and more tracking like that to make better decisions as a whole.
See, if I thought we really needed it for decision making, then I'd be more for
We
it.
know.
I understand, but I mean, I trust his judgment. Now, he said I shouldn't be trusting his judgment. Now, I should use this instead.
one thing I have to say is, like you said, that's like the bridge inspection books. I kind of use that as my Bible. It's like when I look at the bridges, that's the first thing I go to because all that data is there. I mean, the length of the bridge, the condition of the bridge, and I've had somebody else that's engineered to give me all that data. So then when I get it, it has a score on it, what that bridge scores. And that's how I kind of decide on which bridge needs to be replaced first or on down the road 5 years from now. Basically, it has a 20-year plan on all my bridge inventory. All 192 bridges, book this thick or...
That bridge is a lot more complex, all the structure, than it is for that 2-lane road we're driving on.
Not really, because if you don't do something right on the top, the bottom won't.
Let me ask you, do you feel like your judgment is in danger enough that you need us to do it instead?
I don't think it's in danger, but I think it helps it a lot.
That's a lot of money just for that, I think. All right.
Well, the bridge inspection's I think the last contract was
Well,
$500,000.
if a bridge falls down, we're gonna be having a lot of problems.
Yeah.
A bridge can't fall down. The road's
Yeah,
not
it
gonna,
can.
well, what I'm saying, we can't let it fall. I'm saying we can't let it fall down, yes.
We hope not.
But we don't want that to happen. This road that we're driving on is not gonna, unless you get a sinkhole under it, it's not gonna fall down.
Yeah.
I think it's just the data to sell what your point is, though, the data to say.
Is that
It's just not me as a human going, oh, this is the data.
Is that data worth 50,000 a year to us? I don't know.
I don't know.
He says it is, and he's our director.
I'll be glad to find out what the 83% is and get back with you before the next meeting.
Why is the unit price at this, and why is the 83% discount? Jim wants it to be $100.
I want the correct number on it. Why are you discounting 83%? So I like that answer.
All right, yeah, just let us know.
I'll get you the information, get back with you.
I appreciate it, Dave. Thank you.
Thank
I don't
you.
want to be negative,
I understand.
I want to make sure it's money well spent.
All right, thank you, sir. Next, we have Grant County Area Plan, Todd Glancy. Is he here or online or?
I trust.
Get a drone.
I know it's more scientific to use that.
That's after this 2 years.
Not here.
I don't need.
Not here?
50,000
All right.
more scientific.
All right.
Yeah, I know 50,000 is a lot when it comes to the budget.
I guess we'll move on from that request. April Legere is here. Grant County Treasurer. Hello.
Good evening, gentlemen. I am here seeking your approval to replace a vacancy in my office.
I just thought I'd pass on.
This is one that we talked about previously. So, yes, Chair would entertain a motion regarding this request.
I'll move for approval.
All right, thank you, Mr. McCourt.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Lemming. Anyone have any questions or comments from the council?
Can you make an effective date as of the 17th?
I'm okay if that works. The
17th.
17th, as of
February?
yesterday.
Yesterday.
As of yesterday? Okay,
All right.
I'm okay with that.
All right. Nothing else from the council, anything from the public? Hearing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you, gentlemen.
All right, thank you. No one opposed. Yep, and effective date February 17th. Next, we have Grant County EMS, Dawn Harness.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm also asking to fill a vacancy. I know I have two on my letter, but really, the billing one has been vacant since last April. I didn't fill it right away because of budget time, didn't know what was gonna happen at budget. The person that's a supervisor wants to take the billing position, so then I would have to replace the supervisor on the ambulance.
Do they need to vote on it?
So really, it would be one new person.
Yeah, no new position.
Nothing new,
Yeah, okay.
no new
No
position.
additional positions, just
No.
another person.
And really, it helps us out because the supervisor that's gonna be doing the billing can also still run on the truck, so in a pinch, she can go on the truck.
Pay cut though, isn't it?
Not as she's an EMT, it wouldn't be. Mm-mm. It's not as much as the person that left that position, but it would be at the same rate because she's an EMT and will continue to be on the truck.
All right. Entertain a motion.
So moved.
All right, thank you, Mr. Cudell.
Second.
All right, thank you, Mr. Scott. Motion and a second to approve. Any questions or comments from the council? Anything from the public? Hearing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you.
Do you need an effective date for mine, Angie?
I would also like an effective date.
Okay.
Can we make it the first pay of April, the first day of the first pay of April? Because she will be on the truck in March, full time, so
I will
the
give you that
first
date.
day of the first pay in April.
All right.
I don't know what day that is,
I
but
don't either.
you know what that means. Okay, thank you.
We okay with that?
All right, thank you. least that one's into the future. All right, next is Grant County Auditor.
I had previously submitted a letter to request a replacement of vacancy, but I've also proposed another thing, and have given you that letter with the breakdown to eliminate that position and make some changes and restructure the office. This would be the second position in this office that has been either eliminated fully or eliminated and created part-time since I've taken office.
Okay.
This is also a salary, it's a savings to the county general fund of over half, well, just under half of the salary and benefit package for this individual.
So this we are not considering tonight.
I would ask that you can, consider the other proposal that I submitted.
Which would be the position elimination with half of it being spread
Utilized.
among the other individuals who will be picking up the slack.
Correct.
And then the other half as savings, taxpayer savings to the general fund.
Now, would you have to update job descriptions and?
On a few of them, yes. Not everyone, because it's already a part of their job. It's just going to be more of an undertaking, because that position was part of a group of 3 that did the same job per se. They worked with all the taxing units and they split them up between the 3 of them. Now it would be between 2 of them, with her other responsibilities being distributed out to the other individuals in the office. Does that make sense?
The cross-training aspects are, we
Yes.
talked about, makes sense, and that's a positive. And I guess the question I'll ask you to respond publicly would be, do you feel like on a long-term, ongoing basis, the job that's being vacated, the position that's being lost, can be absorbed reasonably by those that are coming in?
I struggled with this in my own head myself, and I had a long discussion with the girls in the office. They assured me that this is something that could be done on a long-term basis.
Yeah, and you feel like that's correct? You feel like they
I
can?
feel like I can trust my girls and their judgment.
I know you have a lot of experience in office too, in those
Yeah.
various positions, so.
I do.
What happens if it doesn't?
Right.
We can't let that happen.
If you have to come back for it again, that's what.
No, I would
What was the
tooth and nail.
actual position title that retired?
It's on the letter itself. I think it was a billing deputy.
Billing deputy, yeah.
Because this is requesting the additional in the salaries, plus a change to the title, plus the part-time increase. And Greg, you had a question about the part-time increase, and I did look at some of the other departments to see, part-time rates for other departments, and there are several departments that have higher part-time rates than what I do. The only reason I asked for an increase for the experienced position is because this individual that I currently have in this position has a huge undertaking. She enters in the DLGF homestead on their data website. She is also we rely on her a lot for vacations and absences, and her role in the office is just as important.
You're not
the other
looking to,
girls.
you're not looking to increase the appropriation.
I am
part-time.
not
It's just,
looking-
you're saying, in effect, you have a little less
Right.
hours to deal with.
I would still have unused balance in my part-time, because I do have another individual that possibly would be coming in on part-time, but they would only be like 20 hours a week. So I definitely have enough to cover in the part-time account, this increase, and keeping non-experienced at the lower rate.
I guess I'm comfortable with the divvying up the duties and splitting the pay like that. I'm concerned right now to do a pay increase to anybody because I kind of worry about that, what others are going to think, because we're not at a budget time and things like that. So that's my reservation with that.
And I understand that, but the council has always stated, to do what you can with what you have. And if you can eliminate positions, this is what we want to see. And that's what I have delivered.
Absolutely. I'm just separating the experienced part-time increase. That's the one I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
I guess the reason I can speak for that and be okay with it would be the fact that the appropriation's not going up, the dollars that she has available to spend, and she's making a delineation between experienced and unexperienced. So I can see how, and I think we have other departments that have two rates for
We do.
part-time, so
We
that's
do.
not unusual. And it is true that we didn't give any part-time increases on, pay for this year. I guess I'm thinking maybe because of the change in positions here, the responsibility for that position is changing as well. So there's a reason to consider that change just because of the changing office and responsibility levels this position is going to have. So I probably, my first reaction is like you said, I'm probably willing to consider that because of those circumstances changed. And no more dollars. I wouldn't want to give any kind of additional appropriation.
Right. And you're okay with the fewer hours for part-time?
This individual with the experience would still continue at 28 hours a week. The other position would be 20 or less. Yes.
But like you said, you have same dollars.
And I always have the same dollars.
But you
yes.
have less
fewer
hours. So you have
Right.
fewer hours available because if you increase the pay, you have fewer hours available.
Correct.
Your budget dollar.
Right.
I think it's interesting, it's an interesting dilemma because we've asked you to do these things before where you reduce people,
We have.
save money,
Got us on that one.
and then increase their pay for the other ones that we've left. And so it's a really interesting dilemma.
And it's a savings to the general fund, plus a little bit to the flat book fund, which was starting to be depleted.
So through attrition, you're not hiring a new person.
Angie and I talked quite a bit the other day about this when she asked me about that. My first thought was, can you really sustain that on a long-term basis? Because you're asking people who already hopefully have their days pretty full anyway, picking up somebody else's, pay, at least on part of their responsibility, at least part of them, so. But she seems to think that she could, so.
And some of the job itself, when it comes to like the deductions, thanks to the state of Indiana and Senate Bill 1, some of that may be decreased over the next few years. So that is also a helpful.
Is the process easier technology-wise, or has anything changed on that front?
We continue to improve on that. I have talked with Darren Bates from Data Pit Stop, and I am looking to try to initiate a online program to do their deductions online. So I have talked with him about that, so that would help eliminate some of it in our office, some of the work,
So you're eliminating a step if that happens. Is that what you mean?
hopefully, if we can get it.
Okay.
See, I guess you look at it the other way. If you can eliminate those things, you don't need the increase in pay because the people will have to do the work that the person left. You know what I'm saying? There's
But this
some
is
of that
a
argument.
maybe situation.
I'm just saying, because I had some of that discussion with her too, is do we really need it at this point, kind of thing, so. It is saving the county money at this point overall.
Yes, it is. It is.
We were pretty direct with our conversation the other day about the pros and cons and what the aspects of it are, so.
You are.
Yeah.
And like I said, I struggled with bringing this to you because,
Sure.
I had to talk to the girls. I had to ask them what their thoughts were, how they felt about it.
Right.
It's going to be an undertaking for them, for all of them. So,
I think it's something too, though, that if you get in 90 days and you say it's not working, then I would argue that it can certainly be unwound.
Yeah.
And so it's not,
I
I mean, they may not, they may not want to give up that pay, but it's like, well, if you can't,
But that's permanent, you're right.
Yeah.
well, this wouldn't even be effective until March, what I say in the letter, 23rd. So,
Right.
that's still another month away.
yeah. So anyway, I don't want people to struggle, and not be able to get things done and get stressed out. I believe in, less stress is better. So, yeah.
There's a line there somewhere, right?
There is, yeah. Mr. Retiree.
That's right. I'm past that stress line.
All right, well, what do you think, Mr. McCourt?
I'm going to make a motion that we accept her proposal in both categories, the change of positions and the salary ordinance that needs to reflect that, as well as that change in the part-time rate for the experienced.
All right, thank you, Mr. McCourt. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right,
Frank beat me.
all right. Thank you, Mr. Hicks. Any further discussion from the council?
Are you gonna, Mr. Kitts, are you gonna ask that you report to make sure that we're on the line 3 months from now? I'm just asking if that's something you wanna do to make sure that
I
we're
can't,
covering, that it's working.
I mean,
well, I don't even know if we're gonna be able to do it. We've been in the talks about it, but like I said, there is not a program out there yet that I'm aware of. So, Darren and I have talked, so.
all right. All right, so we've got a motion and a second, and further comments from the council. Any questions or comments from the public regarding that? Hearing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
It's effective March 23rd.
Yes.
Old business. I don't have any on here. And then we've also got reports, resolutions, communications, any committee reports.
I guess I would just say that with Mr. Lookout in our session, that was kind of what I was thinking that you guys wanted, besides from what I'm gonna tell you, is find out from him first.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I thought that was, good. And at the end of the day, we have to trust our appointees who are there, and you're going to do the right thing. So, best that you know.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, I keep thinking that we've got a process that we're following, but I have to rely on him. I'm just saying, asking questions, this is what I'm thinking, we gotta get through the process to see, does everybody agree upon?
I would agree.
And I think, from your Frank's position, you're there representing the council. I mean, if there's something that really needs to have our attention, want to make sure we're on the same page, feel free to ask us and talk about it.
Shoot an email,
The
something
more we
like that.
know about it, if it's a situation, the better.
And I just had a committee meeting today from Community Corrections. And so I think that we'll have Melissa Stevenson here next month, and maybe the sheriff as well, with maybe a pre-trial release program that would be monitored. So we'll talk about that. So at our next meeting. That'll be on the agenda. I don't know if anybody else has any committee reports or anything. All right, well, upcoming meeting dates, we got a joint session next week, next Wednesday, the 25th at 6 p.m. with the commissioners, and then our next meeting is Wednesday, March 18th. And with that, I guess I'll look for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Do we have a second? All right. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. We are adjourned. Thank you.
What did you say?
At 6.
I was just.
Yes. It's the joint one about the jail.
Okay.